Saturday afternoon, and it's Esports Go here on Challenge TV. I'm Sophie Jacobson. Saturday morning opened up with two teams looking to prove in the Los Angeles Valiant versus London Spitfire. The Valiant are coming off their first loss and are looking to prove that they still are a top team. The Spitfire are trying to remain an undefeated team. We start the highlight on Horizon Lunar Colony. Both teams managed to get points A and B in overtime. Now we go into extra rounds where each team are given 1 minute to capture point A. The Valiant pushes first, and it looks strong until a well-placed rip tire from Rascal takes out their backline. The Valiant are picked off, and they do not even get a full tick. It's the Spitfire's turn, and they run 4 tanks straight into the point. The Valiant are caught off guard, and the Spitfire take map 2. Although the Spitfire won maps 1 and 2, the Valiant come back and win the next 2 after halftime. Tied 4-4, both teams are headed to Lijiang Tower for the tiebreaker. Although the Valiant won the control map earlier, they struggled in the first round. Prophet did not make it any easier with his well-placed gravitation bomb that moves the entire Valiant team into a Moira ultimate. The Spitfire take the first round. The story is the same for the second round. The Valiant are struggling to make it on the point. Birdring on Widowmaker keeps them at bay. He snipes down anyone not behind an Orisa shield. In the end, the Spitfire take the win, ending the series with a 3-2 victory over the Valiant. The Valiant fought back and brought the game to a 5th map, but they were not able to close out the match. The Spitfire rallied behind players like Birdring to bring it back and play their game. This match will be a great example of excellent Overwatch play. The last match of the day was between two teams with only one win, the Boston Uprising and the San Francisco Shock. We start this matchup on Eichenwald. The Shock are up 2-1. If the Uprising want to win, they need a win on Eichenwald to bring it to the tiebreaker map, Lijiang Tower. The Uprising are on attack first. Dream Casper wins the air battle and then turns on the rest of the Shock to take the first point. Fast forwarding to the last turn of the map, Striker gets a great flank on Nami. The rest of the Shock are picked off without their front line. The Uprising push the payload all the way to the end. The Shock's push is looking strong with Baby Bay on the far side as Widowmaker taking pot shots at the Uprising. It seems as though they will succeed until Widowmaker is counter-sniped by Neko, the Uprising Zenyatta. The push is stopped and the Uprising take map 4. We're going to Lijiang Tower for the second time today. The first round is looking great for the Uprising, but Neko falls off the map as Lucio. He wall climbs it all the way back in, and avoiding the Diva, he makes it back to his team and they secure the first round. In round 2, the Uprising are not as fortunate and the Shock take the win. It all comes down to round 3, but the Shock's defense is too much for the Uprising. Baby Bay launches an incredible barrage to take out the Uprising and keep them at bay. In the end, the Shock clean up the point in overtime, giving them the win. The Shock finished the second week of the Overwatch League season with a 3-2 victory over the Uprising. The Shock and Uprising looked very evenly matched. They were back and forth, map to map. In the end, Baby Bay was able to make the plays for the Shock to claim victory on Lijiang Tower. I'm excited to see how the Uprising turn this around. They did not look like themselves this evening. Now, let's check out the Gladiators and Excelsior match. The XL looked to keep the train running on through, while the Gladiators tried to get a second win in for the week. We start on map 2, Horizon Lunar Colony, where the Gladiators are on attack. Bishu jumps into the backline of the XL, making point A an easy pickup for the Gladiators. Point B is another story though. They are stopped push after push by the Excelsior. The defense is too rock solid. The Gladiators have a chance after Surefour gets 2 quick snipes on key members of the XL. They try to capitalize, but it's not enough. In a last-ditch effort, a hydration riptire comes in and blows up 2 XL members, but without any follow-up, the XL are able to keep the Gladiators from capturing point B. The Gladiators' defense is strong at first, but the XL are relentless. The damage and healing that Jonax puts out are insane. He casts a Transcendence to keep his team alive and then follows it up by picking off the Gladiators from the corner. The Excelsior take this map and go on to win the series against the Gladiators 4-0. The Gladiators have 2 losses, but I would not underestimate them. The 2 losses come from the Seoul Dynasty and the New York Excelsior, the 2 teams that we have ranked as the top 2 teams in the league. Watch for the Gladiators to prove their place in the Overwatch League with games against the Los Angeles Valiants and Houston Outlaws. Now moving on to everyone's favorite segment, the Heroes and Zeros. My hero of the day has to be Birdring. His performance on Lijiang Tower helped push the Spitfire to victory. My zero has to be Striker. How can you play Tracer if you can't even see? All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Esports Go. Welcome back to Esports Go. We may not have a show on Sunday, but there still are excellent esports broadcasts to watch. If you are a fan of League of Legends, you have 5 matches to watch throughout the day in the NALCS. Optic Gaming and Team Liquid kick things off at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I recommend checking out the FlyQuest vs. Team Solo mid-game. TSM lost the night before and will be hungry for their first win of the season. Moving on to the Boston Major, there are 8 matches to watch. The match to watch has to be SK Gaming vs. FaZe Clan. These are 2 titans this CSGO world and a must-see match. The game starts at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you are a night owl, the Hearthstone World Championship finishes tonight at 11:30. The night will kick off with the semifinals, Jason Zoe vs. Frozen and Tom vs. Surrender. We will have a replay and recap from the final day on Monday. Finally, if you are a Heroes of the Storm fan, there are 2 matches for you to check out tomorrow in the NAHGC region. Gale Force Esports vs. Team Freedom and Team 12 vs. LFM Esports. I hope you have enough monitors to check out all of these matches tomorrow. We will see you in a sec after the break. Welcome back to The Go. We had some great matches in week 2 of Overwatch, and next week we have some great matches to look forward to as well. In the words of Zach De La Roche, it's time to testify as the battle for Los Angeles takes place Wednesday night. The Valiant take on the Gladiators, and it's going to be a slugfest. The Valiant come off a hard week 2, playing the top 2 teams of the East. The Gladiators showed us there's no quitting them. The green versus the purple. Should be a great match. What you doing Friday night? If your answer isn't watching Dynasty vs. Excelsior, don't talk to me. Dynasty XL, Flutter vs. Pine, they should just skip right to map 3. Or better yet, make all 4 maps control maps. Come on Blizzard, give the people what they want. Order some pizzas, sit down, strap in. And let's watch the Dynasty and XL answer the question, who is the best team? Finally, on Saturday, we get the Gladiators against the Outlaws. Houston seems to have found their groove. Beating up on some of the lower tier teams in the league, the Gladiators are going to be a great test for them. We already know the Gladiators have some of the best teamwork in this game. This promises to be a tight match. Can't wait to see. Thank you so much for joining us on The Go this evening. What a great weekend of gaming. Make sure you tune in to the Esports Go updates Monday to see the results of the Boston Major and the Hearthstone Worlds. Follow us on Twitter, check out our YouTube page for all of our videos. I'll see you next week. The boys will be back Thursday. Until then, I'm Sophie and you've watched The Go.